Hi, in this tutorial we shall discuss how structures are used in C language. A structure is a collection of variables of same or different data types structured under a single variable name of structure type. The memory allocation is that of all the members of the structure, and the memory will be allocated only when the structure variables are defined. Structure members cannot be initialized inside the structure declaration. The syntax is shown below. The first part is a keyword of structure, that is struct, then the structure tag name, and within the two curly brackets we shall give the list of members of different data type or same data type. At the end we can give the structure variables separated by commas. These are the examples of structure declaration and structure variable definition. The structure library is declared here. Struct library. Struct is the keyword, library is the tag name of the structure, and within these two curly brackets three members are declared: book name, year and volume of different data types. Book name is a character array, year is integer and volume is float. The two variables book1 and book2 are the actual structure variables. That means book1 is of struct library type and book2 is also of struct library type, having these three variables. To access any member of this structure we can use a dot operator. For example, to get the book name we can use book1 dot book name. To access the first member of the struct library of book1 we can use book1 dot book name. To access second member it is book1 dot year, third member is book1 dot volume. Similarly, the book2 members can be accessed like book2 dot book name, book2 dot year and book2 dot volume. This is structure declaration and structure variable definition. So this can be splitted into two also. That means only the structure declaration can be given first without giving the variables here, without giving the structure variables here, and after later in the program we can define the structure variables like this. So in that case we have to again use struct library, then book1 comma book2. So in order to avoid using this struct library again and again, we can type def this struct library using the type definition. So this is another method. This is another method to declare and define structure. So using the type def, the struct library is abbreviated as lib. So instead of struct library we can use the keyword, the variable and the name lib. So by using lib book1 comma book2, the book1 and book2 variables are defined as struct library type. This is an example of usage of structure in which a structure library is defined, in which there are 4 members: book name of character array type, author, a character array, year, integer type, and volume float type. And this contains 2 variables. These 2 are book 1 and book 2 are structure library type variables containing these much members. So I am going to write only to the book 1 and display the content from book 2. So the first part is reading the book 1 details. So as I said, to read the book 1 details, we can use the names like book 1 dot book name. The first member is book 1 dot book name. To read the second member, it is book 1 dot author. Third member is book 1 dot year, and fourth one is book 1 dot volume. Use the appropriate type specifier or functions for scanning the details. The first 2 are character arrays, so I have used getAs. The third one is an integer. Here is an integer, so %d is a type specifier. Last one is a floating point type member, so scanf %f. So using the same names, we can display these details like book 1 dot book name, the format specifier %s, book 1 dot author, %s type specifier, %d for book 1 dot year, and %f. Here .2f is for limiting to 2 decimal places. Book percentage %.2f, book 1 dot volume. So this is the reading part and this is a writing part. That is, actually we have returned to a structure and displayed the contents from a structure. So when there are more number of variables, it is better to use a function for reading and writing, for reading process and writing process. Otherwise we have to repeat all the steps for reading as well as writing. So that is shown in the next program. We have used 2 functions, one for reading and the other for displaying. So to read the values, into the structure, have used the function read book details. So this is the definition part of read book details. The structure is I have limited to 2 members, book name and year. Struct library and book 1 and year are the 2 members of character array type and integer type, and these 2 are our books, book 1 and book 2. The book read is used as the formal parameter used inside read book details, and book is used inside display book details, formal parameter of display book details. We can have the same variable for both of these functions, but I have used 2 different structure variables. The next one is the display book details, the second function. So the first function, read book details, is struct library type. Read book details is struct library type return value. That means we are returning the read values back to the main program. Here book read is the read value that we are passing back to the main program, and it is getting nothing from the main program. So this function is for reading purpose, so we are not taking any value from the main program. It is reading the book details and the value read into book read will be passed to the main program. So the return type must be struct library type. In the display book details program, subprogram, the function is passing the library book. These are the two functions for reading and writing. A function is declared read book details for reading and display book details is for writing operation. The structure I have reduced to only two members, book name of 25 and year, of character array type and integer type. The first function, that is library, struct library read book details, this is receiving nothing from the main program. That means to read something from the console, we are not taking any argument from the main program. So read book details is having no values, no structures from the main program. So it is void type, and the return type is struct library, because after reading we have to return the read values back to the main program. So that is shown here, return book read, where book read is the structure that we read. In the display book details, which is for displaying the values, we need to take a structure from the main function to display. So the argument of display book details is struct library type, and the return value here is void, because nothing is returned back, it is just displaying the value that are received from the main program. So note that this book read is the formal parameter structure in this program, and book is the formal parameter for the display book details program function. And these are our actual structure variables which is in the main program. So we shall see the main program part. So in the main program there is only the prompt for entering the details of book 1 and calling the function read book details, and the return value from the read book details is stored in book 1. So when this function is called, the control will go to the function read book details, and it will print the data to enter. That is, first is book name, it is accessed using book read dot book name, and second one is the year, read using book read dot year. So the values will be in the structure book read, and this is returned back to the main program. That means the value is in the book read, and the book 1 will be getting the value, return value from the read book details function. Similarly, the second one is enter details of book 2. So it is calling the function read book details. In a similar way, it will read the values of book 2 and return the read book details, and it is returned to the structure book 2. That means the first structure is in book 1, second structure is in book 2. And this is a displaying part. For this, it is calling the function display book details to display the details of book 1. So when this function is called, it has to pass the structure that is to be displayed. So book 1 will be passed to the subprogram, and here this book will be replaced by book 1. So everything written here will be replaced by this book 1. That is, book.bookname will be replaced by book1.bookname. Book.year will be replaced by book1.year. So these two values from the structure book 1 will be displayed through this program, and it will come back to the main program. In a similar way, it will display the values of book 2 by passing the book 2. There it will replace the book with book 2, and the things that are printed are book2.bookname and book2.year. You can see here, this is a reading part and this is a writing part. So every time it reads, it is calling the function. These two are calling the function for reading book 1 details and book 2 details. This is calling the function to display the book details. When there are a large number of structure variables for a particular structure, we can use array of structures. That means a number of variables of structure can be of an array of structure type. So in this example, the same structure, that is struct library with the two members book name and year is used, and here lib100 is the array of structures having elements from lib of 0 to lib of 99. That means 99 structures are defined here. 99 number of structures are defined here. So to access the first member of lib0, I'll be writing like lib0 of 0 dot book name. This is the first member of lib0, the first element of the array. So lib0 is the first structure, and the first element of the first structure is lib0 dot book name. Second member is lib0 dot year. In this way, we can access any of the structure array element. That is, if it is of lib34, we will write like lib34 dot book name and lib34 dot year. In this way, we can access any element. Now continuing with the program. The same two functions, that is read book details and display book details, are used for reading the book details and displaying the book details, with book as the formal structure parameter of both of this reading operation and writing operation. So after reading, it will return the book details, and it is getting the book details that is to be displayed on this formal parameter book. This is the main program of the function of the program. In the main program, as this is a structure, I am defining a counter I, and n is used for getting the number of books. So first the number of books are entered. So in my example, 3 is given as the number of books, and first a prompt for reading the details of book 1 is given. So book 1 means we are using a for loop for getting all the details, because we have to scan the book details of 0, lib of 0, lib of 1 and lib of 2. So these books are named like book 1, book 2 and book 3. Array index is actually from 0 to 2. So the first detail is of lib of 0. That means lib of 0 will be read using the read book details. So this function is called, and the function will be executed, and the details of book 1 will be entered. These are the details of book 1, and it will be stored in lib of 0. Then the counter will increment and I will be equal to 1. Now it will display enter details of book I plus 1, that is 2, and it is calling the function, and the result, that is the structure, will be stored in lib of 1. Again in the third iteration, I is equal to 2, so the book detail is actually of book 3, and these details are stored in lib of 2. So we have 3 structures: lib of 0, lib of 1 and lib of 2. So these 3 are printed using a for loop in which each value, that is lib of 0, lib of 1 and lib of 2, are passed to the function display book details one by one, and it is printed in the console. The last part of this tutorial is nested structures. We can have a structure of structure type. Here in this example, the main structure is struct college, and there are 3 parameters, 3 members: college name, students count and hostel St. Thomas. In this case, the St. Thomas is the structure within this structure. St. Thomas is the structure within this structure. So the St. Thomas is the variable St. Thomas is belonging to another structure, struct hostel, which is having 2 members, into rooms and into students. So this St. Thomas is the structure variable for this structure, and it is contained inside struct college. So for the college, the structure college, college name, students count and the structure St. Thomas are the 3 members. So how to access the different members of the structure? So CLG is the structure variable for struct college, and we are accessing college name and students count in a similar way that we have discussed in the previous sessions. That is college.clg.college name and clg.students count. The third member is belonging to another structure. So we have to specify the name of the first structure, the second structure, and the members. So the first member room is accessed like CLG dot St. Thomas dot rooms. So everything will be separated by dot operators. CLG dot St. Thomas dot rooms. The second member is accessed like CLG dot St. Thomas dot students. CLG dot St. Thomas dot students. So this is used when one structure is having another variable which may have a number of different data types, or which may have a number of parameters that is to be grouped under the same name. Here the hostel St. Thomas is having two members, the number of rooms and the number of students. So another structure is used for St. Thomas. So this is the reading part. Enter the college name, St. Kitts. Enter the number of students, 2000. And the number of rooms in St. Thomas Hostel, which is 200, and that is accessed using CLG dot St. Thomas dot rooms. The fourth parameter, the number of students in St. Thomas Hostel, that is accessed using CLG dot St. Thomas dot students. So using these name itself, we are printing the different values of the structure and the structure within the structure. These are the results. Note that the first two part is from the structure CLG, and the third one is actually accessing the two structures. The first structure member is St. Thomas, and to access the members of it, we are using a second dot operator. And this is the end of the tutorial, and if you have any doubts, please ask in the comment box below. Thank you.